Hello, my name is SizerR, and my proposed doctoral research focuses on racial and socioeconomic disproportionality in special education evaluation and identification. My presentation is titled Beyond the Numbers, Understanding Racial and Socioeconomic Disproportionality in Special Education Identification. At the center of my research is an important question. When Black and Latino students are disproportionately identified for special education services, what is happening within our special education system before those students ever receive a disability label? This question moves us beyond simply documenting disparities and towards understanding the systems, practices, and professional decisions that may contribute to these decisions. Decades of research demonstrates that racial and economical disproportionalities remains a present equity concern in special education. Although the ID established important practices and protections designed to promote equitable evaluations and identifications, disparities still continue. The literature highlights important MTSS response to interventions, family engagement, and collaboration decision makers. However, these things are only as effective as the educational system implementing them. This brings me to the gap in literature. Much of existing literature has successfully documented disproportionality throughout quantitative analyzing. We know that disparities exist, and research has identified numerous factors that analyze them. What we do know less about is how educators themselves experience these processes. Educators are individuals who initiate referrals, implement interventions, interpret students' behavior and academic performance, participate in the multidisciplinary teams, analyze assessments information, and ultimately contribute to the decisions that can significantly affect a student's trajectory. Yet, little quantitative research has examined how educators across professional roles perceive organizational and contextual factors influencing these students' decisions. That is the missing link in my research that I will be investigating. The purpose of my proposed quantitative study is to explore educators' perceptions of the factors contributing to racial and socioeconomic disproportionality in special education evaluations and identification. I propose conducting semi-structural interviews with educators, professionals involved in the referral and evaluation process, including general education teachers, special education teachers, school psychiatrists, the school's administrators, and other related professions. My research will examine these three central questions. How do educators perceive the factors contributing to racial and social economic disproportionality? How do educators describe organizational practices that influences referrals and evaluation decisions? And lastly, What structures do you educators believe could help reduce disproportionality in special education? Ultimately, my study is about more than disproportionality statistics. It's about understanding what happens before a student becomes part of those statistics. If we want a more equitable special education system, we must understand how policies are translated into everyday practices and how educators experience those systems in which referrals and evaluation decisions occur. The goal isn't simply to identify that disparities exist. We know that. The goal is to understand those processes that may sustain them in education so that educational leaders and practitioners can begin changing those procedures. Special education identification can shape a student's educational opportunities for years. Therefore, ensuring that those decisions are equitable, culturally responsive, evidence-based, and grounded in the student's actual needs is essential. I believe that research can help move the field from documenting disproportionalities towards understanding and ultimately transforming the systems that can contribute to them. Thank you for considering my proposed research for a presentation at your conference and expo.